The weight of responsibility is the price of love. The moment you become a father, something shifts. You realize that the way you've been measuring your life no longer makes sense. Your goals don't disappear, but they stop being about you. Your future stops being a personal horizon and starts becoming something you're responsible to build for someone else. You realize your actions aren't just shaping your life, they're shaping the inner world of your children. You realize your presence carries weight, but your absence is heavier. Every choice you make teaches your children something, whether you mean it to or not. They learn what kind of world they're in by watching how you live in it. They learn who they're allowed to become by watching how you carry pressure, failure, and responsibility. And if you're raising daughters, you feel that weight differently. Because you know the world they're walking into. You know it doesn't bend for their innocence. You know confidence has to be built, not manifested into existence. You know safety isn't guaranteed and strength can't be borrowed. You know danger lurks in hidden corners for women. So love stops being something you feel. It becomes something you do on purpose, every single day. Sometimes without recognition, sometimes without knowing if it will ever be enough. That's the kind of love fatherhood demands. In Jungian psychology, the role of the father is defined by this responsibility. The father is the one who understands that the world is dangerous, indifferent, and uncontrollable. He doesn't hide that fact or pretend like it's not true. He accepts the responsibility of preparing a child to live inside that world. That responsibility is the highest act of love a man can give his child. It shows up as attention, as judgment, as standing between your child and danger for as long as you can, then teaching them how to face that danger themselves. Once a man accepts that responsibility, it changes him. It becomes who he is. Father isn't a label, it's a responsibility. It doesn't disappear when circumstances change, it doesn't shrink when your children grow up, and it doesn't end when the cost becomes unbearable. Wind River is a film about the investigation into the murder of a girl on a native reservation. On a much deeper level, it's the last great film made about fatherhood. Cory Lambert is a character who accepted that responsibility completely. He loved his daughter. He prepared her for the harsh world she lived in. He paid attention. He stayed close. He stepped into danger willingly, again and again. And he still lost her. Cory Lambert is a tracker by trade and by disposition. He lives in a place where paying attention keeps people alive, where weather, distance, and isolation punish mistakes without warning. Cory's learned to read what's there instead of what he wishes were there. He notices the quiet signs. He knows danger rarely announces itself, it only leaves subtle footprints in the snow. Cory loved his daughter the same way he tracks, closely, deliberately, without shortcuts. He understood that loving a child in a place like this doesn't mean promising safety. It means preparation, teaching awareness, sharpening judgment, helping a child move through the world without illusions. This is what responsibility looks like when it's driven by love. You stay alert so they don't have to live in fear. You carry the awareness so they can move with confidence. Cory's love showed up in his behavior, in his restraint, in his consistency, in the way he never lets his guard down, even when it would be easier to pretend that danger isn't real. This film isn't about Cory losing his daughter. By the time the story begins, she's been gone for years. She was assaulted and murdered. She died alone in the cold, and her case was never solved. There was no justice, no closure, just the knowledge of what the world can take. The film doesn't linger on the details.
We tried to be very careful with Emily. Tried to plan for everything. She was such a good girl. But we let our guard down. And I tell you, you may have kids one day. You cannot blink. Not once, not ever.
There are no flashbacks meant to earn sympathy. Her absence lives somewhere deeper. It shows up in the way Cory moves through the world, in how he never wastes energy, in how he stays oriented towards what needs doing, in the fact that he doesn't collapse inward, but remains present for his younger son. He keeps carrying the responsibility, because that's what fatherhood has already taught him to do. Despite Cory's past, this isn't a story about a man trying to rectify his own grief or find catharsis for his loss. The plot of the film revolves around the discovery of a young girl's dead body. Her name is Natalie Hansen. She's another young native girl. She was Cory's daughter's best friend. When her body's found, Cory doesn't collapse. He doesn't rage. He doesn't turn his pain into spectacle. What we see instead is the consistency of responsibility. The same focus, the same discipline. Cory feels the weight of everything. The film never suggests otherwise. But he understands something that only comes from living with loss. Grief doesn't excuse you from responsibility. It deepens it. Once you've loved a child, once you've lost one, the cost doesn't lessen your duty.
Point is, Martin, you can't steer from the pain. If you do, you'll rob yourself You'll rob yourself of every memory of her. Every last one. From her first step to her last smile. Kill them all. Let's take the pain, Martin. You hear me? You take it. It's the only way you'll keep her with you.
So Cory stays steady. He takes the lead in the investigation. He reads the land. He reads the people. He sees danger forming before anyone else is ready to name it. Not because he believes he can undo what's already happened, but because love doesn't allow him to look away. Cory spends the film investigating Natalie's disappearance with the local police force and an FBI liaison. Their investigation eventually leads to a place designed to forget consequence. The men responsible for Natalie's death work and live at a remote drilling site, far from the houses, far from oversight, far enough away to believe that no one is really watching. Out there they move as if choices don't follow you, as if distance dulls responsibility. Natalie was visiting her boyfriend late one night. He worked on the site. When the other men forced their way into the room, he tried to stop it. He stood between her and the people he worked beside. They beat him to death for it. One of them takes Natalie. She breaks free and runs barefoot into the night. She's a girl running alone into the uncaring world. The world responds the only way it ever does. It doesn't negotiate, it doesn't slow down, it doesn't care what anyone intended. The same cold, indifferent world Cory has always understood closes in around her and takes her life. When Cory, the FBI, and the tribal police finally reach the site, the violence spills into the open. A shootout, chaos. Men who believed they were untouchable are suddenly exposed to consequence. When it ends, there's one man left, the man responsible for Natalie's death. Cory takes him into the mountains. This is the moment most films turn towards release. A bullet, a clean ending, something that feels like balance being restored. But Cory already understands what that kind of ending actually offers. Killing this man wouldn't bring relief. It wouldn't make anything whole. It would be a brief attempt to escape pain. And Cory knows exactly what that trade costs. Because the pain he carries isn't just suffering, it's where his daughter still exists. It's the proof that her life still shapes his. To give that up, even for justice, would mean losing her again. So he doesn't take the shot. He leaves the man where Natalie was left, alone, exposed, barefoot in the cold. No protection, no illusion of safety, just the same world Cory has always known for what it is. This is the clearest expression of who Cory is. He isn't acting out of rage, he isn't chasing vengeance. He's acting from the same responsibility that shaped every part of his life as a father. The responsibility to see the world clearly, to refuse shortcuts, to accept that some things can't be fixed, only carried. When he walks away, it isn't because his pain is gone, it's because he chose to keep it. By the time Wind River ends, Cory Lambert hasn't changed. He hasn't had to. His life was already shaped the moment he understood what loving a child requires. Not the feeling of it, but the responsibility. The kind that rearranges your priorities quietly and permanently. Fatherhood isn't a mood or a phase. It's a decision to stop living only in the present. Your comfort moves down the list. Your choices stretch forward into years you may never see. You start measuring your life by what it builds, not what it gives you back. When men accept that responsibility fully, they don't just reorder themselves. They reorder the world around them. They create stability where there would have been chaos. They absorb pressure so others don't have to. They move carefully, deliberately, because they understand how much depends on them. This isn't loud love. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ask to be seen or praised. It doesn't turn children into proof of identity. It shows up in consistency, in restraint, in the willingness to carry weight without applause. That kind of fatherhood is rare now, not because it's outdated, but because it's costly. It asks for discipline instead of attention, presence instead of performance, responsibility instead of escape. And it doesn't promise happy endings. It promises meaning. Wind River isn't powerful because it's about a man who survives unimaginable loss. It's powerful because it shows what it looks like when a man accepts the cost of love and refuses to put it down. Fatherhood is knowing that cost and choosing to carry it anyway.